Hey everybody. Today we're going to jump into uh, VS Code. Right now we're looking at Dynamo. I'm going to show you a couple things before we jump over, but what we're going to do today is create a custom node, and what's special about this is we're going to do it in VS Code using GitHub Copilot. So I think it's super cool, and I want to kind of keep it live and kind of show you in real time. So we'll jump over there, and then we'll just start kind of typing stuff out, and then seeing what Copilot recommends. I think it's a really powerful tool. I recommend checking out or just Googling it. You'll find some pretty good resources or videos that kind of describe it pretty well. There's a good one by Syntax on YouTube. I think he does a really good job describing what the tool is, and what it's about. So, and this was a post on LinkedIn. So if you saw that, this is the video for that. But what we're going to do is just take an input. We're going to take a line and we're going to split it. So pretty simple, but I just want to show you kind of what Copilot can do, and just how powerful it is. And I just think it's really cool because Dynamo is a unique thing. It's different. It's not as mainstream as the other, Python and Pandas and data science stuff. And so it's unique, and it's cool that it's still able to help while you're developing stuff in developing your programs. So to start off, we'll just put a Python node. So we'll search Python. We'll grab that, and then we'll want to take in a list of lines. So we'll just do a line, and then we'll just do, that was the one we need. So we'll do this one. We'll search point real quick. And then we'll need a vector. We'll need a vector. So we'll just do 1. And we're going to be doing two lines. So we'll do this. And then the length can just be whatever. So boom, now we have 2 lines. Plug that into there. And then now for the most part, we're not going to be in this custom node until we copy over the code from VS Code. So I'm going to switch screens to VS Code, and then we can start to look at that. So I've already got one called Split Lines Pi. You're able to download all this, so if you want to open this up, play with it yourself, feel free to do that. The Python and the Dynamo stuff, so both of them, feel free to download them. You'll find the OneDrive link below. And then you can search for this video or search for split line or whatever, and then you'll be able to find it and download the contents in the folder. So, yeah, so let's get into it. So I'll add a comment, and it works. This is what I think is super cool. So what we'll do is type out what we're trying to do, and we can be as specific as we want, or sometimes vague, and it still comes up with some unique cases. So what we want to do is take a line, and so we'll take a line and split into multiple lines. So that's exactly what we want to do, and we'll do in Dynamo by using this split line function. So it even knows that the function that's built in or the other Python script. So I'm not sure where it's getting that information from, unless it remembers me trying to write this in the past. And I know that I think it's supposed to learn the way that you develop stuff, so that's pretty cool. So take a line and split it into multiple lines in Dynamo, and then I'll just put in Revit Dynamo. Now, we'll do the input. So we'll say lines. And you can see right off the bat, it recommends input. You know, that's what we would do in Dynamo. In VS Code, it doesn't really mean much, but when we get into Dynamo and to the Python node, that makes sense. It's the first input into our Python script. So you can see there, it recommended that. So now we have our lines. We'll create our function, and so and there it is. So it learned from the split line function, because I've done this before. I tested it. This is the exact example that we're going through. The comment's a little bit different, but you can see it's pulling information from the previous times that I used this. I mean, even has PT in there for the module, the geometry module. There it is. So import design script geometry as PT. So wow, that is super cool. So let's just see. We'll do another example. Obviously, this one, I didn't know it was that, like, I thought it was still going to be somewhat live and unique, but the fact that I did it before, remembered a lot of that stuff. So what we'll try to do is just build something different. Maybe we'll do, when we get back into Dynamo, we'll figure that out. But that's super cool. So now let's just take that code. This is the, so if you open up Python for the first time, maybe you've never gotten into that node, this may look different for you. This is just the template one that if you go and search like Dynamo Python template, I think in the primer it'll show you some, it'll talk a bit about it, but it'll show you how to update this template. Now this one's not great. I would recommend tweaking it a little bit. I haven't done that yet with this, but you can, create your own Python template instead of opening up the basic one or the default one, I mean. So let's just cover all that up and copy over it, and then we'll see. Okay, so this looks good, and let's just try it and see what happens. And you can see it looks like they're right, but just to verify and give you guys kind of a nice visual, we'll do we'll hide this preview. We'll hide this preview. We'll get the first list. So you can see there it split the line in half. We'll change that. You can get the other set of lines, and you'll see that they're split in half as well. So there it is. that's how you do that. That's MVS Code. Super powerful. I think this is going to be a game changer. For me, it's been really awesome. I wouldn't call myself a developer, so having this, I think, is incredibly powerful because it's using Stack Overflow. It's using all these other resources, and so I think it improves your code, but it also kind of shows you things that you may not know. So different libraries, different ways to manage, list, and so I think it's really powerful. So now I want to get into. I just want to do another example because I thought that example was pretty simple. The fact that I've done it before, it obviously remembered it. So I want to do a unique case, something that's different, so that I can give you guys a better idea of how, when I first did it, how that works and how it started with the comment and then it worked through it. Because I think I said it was about 70% of the way there, and then I had to tweak a few things, add a couple things to get it to actually work. But so I want to show you that part of it. So we got that to work. Now let's think about what we want to do. So well, here's a cool one. So maybe we do just a bunch of random points, and then we do circle dot by best fit through points. So we'll place a bunch of random points, and then we'll use this function in Python. So this one here, inside of Python, and then essentially do everything just within that node without doing anything separate. So still a simple case, I think, but I think it's different enough to where it shouldn't. My previous, explorations of Dynamo and Copilot shouldn't have an effect on it. So you should get a more live, realistic look on just how good Copilot is with this. So anyways, I'll leave that up so that I know the function and how to call on it. So we'll jump back into VS Code and I'll move this over. And so we've got this one. I'm going to create a new file. And so we'll call this by best. And we'll name it the same as alright. So now let's put a comment in there. So, oops. So we'll say create a circle from a line by best fit through points. So I think this is simple case, but let's see what happens. So, oops, we don't want that as a comment. So that's easy enough because, okay, point dot curve. Curve dot best by point through point. Okay. Oh wow. So we've got the two functions. We've got random points, which is going to generate our list of just random points. And then we have and that takes in n for the range. Okay. And then we've got our best through point. This, the second function is going to create the actual circle. So now, I think with both of those, all we have to do is do out oh, equals best fit through points, random points. 10 would be the nth value for the range, and then 4i in range. Best through random points. 10. Let's see what happens if we. So I'll bring over, well, I'll switch screens again. All right, so let's do Python. Yeah, that might have broke it. Or, yeah. I'm thinking the issue here is I don't understand why it's the range part of it, but let's see what happens. Let's do, because it's a list comprehension, so it's taking in. It should be. It should just take the function should just take in. So what we should only have to do is return this. And so we'll try this and see what. Oh, oops, sorry, you guys aren't even seeing my screen. So I'm thinking that instead of this, we try just the function. That should work. I'm not so sure about the range part of it. I feel like it would essentially be looping through it, and we just want to be able to take in a list of points, output one circle. We'll see what's wrong here. Okay, line 38. Return. Yeah, this is not a very clear warning. It's obviously having an issue with this. So we've got point dot by coordinates. All right, let's because I'm okay. PT point dot by coordinates, and then PT dot random dot float. Because the by coordinates. That's the X, Y, and Z. For that, we'll do 0. All right, let's switch back over there and see. let's do. Okay, I think this makes more sense. So we've got for I in range, and I might be missing something from the list comprehension, but I'm. So let me know if there's. I may have to mess around with that, but if you see, that there was a way to use the list comprehension that I was missing, feel free to comment below. I don't use those very much, so I'm not even going to try to pretend to get through them, but I know how to create these and do it this way. So we've got a range. We're going to take in an end value, which is going to be inputted in our function. So that could be whatever. And then we're going to do x equals random.random, y. And I think there's also, I don't know how these random works, but typically you can put like a value in it that because it's not always going to be random. It's if it generates a random set of values. I don't know how that works, but I know sometimes you'll have to use a kind of a starter value or something to determine the randomness. So I don't know if we can. I don't know about this function, so I'll have to dive into that and see what because we may have another input we can kind of play around with along with range. So points dot append pt point by coordinates. I think this should work. So let's take all this. Oops. All this, copy it. Do the same thing, just paste it in there. And then we'll see what's wrong with it. So line 40, we've got, oh yeah, random is not, yeah, so let's, I'm in VS Code real quick, but I just want to make sure there's nothing else with that library. So import random. All right, so by best fit points file, blah, 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 type object curve. Type object has no attribute by best point through. Let's try this. Okay. So instead of curve, it's circle. Which that makes sense, I guess, because there's, yeah, that does, because underneath curves, you've got your circle and your curve. So we'll take that. And, this is what I wanted to show you guys, is like working through it, VS Code. It doesn't get you 100% there. I do think it's fast. Especially if you don't know like the best way to maybe do this stuff, or if you don't know all the different methods and functions. But this is what I wanted to show you guys. Okay, so numeral 1 points. let's see something. So we'll comment out. Oh, okay. I see what's wrong. I didn't have to finish it. I did not have a return on that function. Okay. And this is another, great thing just to see this stuff live. It's not just like I know everything and I know all these different functions or these different things. You miss a lot. Coding is a lot of this. Go back and kind of see what's going on. Is there something I'm missing? Is there a different way to do it? Did I use the method wrong? So I don't know. I think it's interesting to see these kind of more live type sessions. Though this isn't technically live, I guess I'm not. It's not being streamed or anything, but none of this has been planned, so it's pretty just kind of raw. So there's our circle. So that's awesome. Let's actually see what our points are, because it looks like we've only got. So I wonder if. So let's do. Just as a test, because I think that random, which I was kind of talking about earlier, but that value, I think you can put a value in that changes the randomness. So it might be just defaulting to 0, 0. No, it's not. So there's our random point. So that's awesome. Let's see this. So we've got. Okay, so that's actually always random. Okay, that's cool. Well, the confusing part probably is the fact that I never turned the previews for this off. Okay, so let's just delete this. We'll uncomment the code above, and then we'll run it again. And then boom, you'll see our points. So that's pretty awesome. I wonder. So I'm not familiar with this random one, but I wonder if you can. Yeah. So random takes no arguments. Well, that works. That's cool. So there's our point. There's the live session. That's what I wanted to show you with the split line. But since I developed it beforehand, it remembered all that. So I think that's interesting as well for you guys to see. This is incredibly powerful. You can see there was some tweaking that I had to do, but because of that. Because of using it, and from my understanding is that it learns a lot of that stuff. So over time, it gets better and better. Um, so it's pretty incredible. Um, it it's super powerful, I think, and I love being able to. I just like to type out the comments and then see what it recommends. Originally, when I first did the split line, it got it like a lot of the way there, but I had to do a lot of, or I wouldn't say a lot, but just like we did here, a bit of tweaking to get it to work, but it did develop the whole thing, just like we kind of saw with this example. So over time, I think it'll get better. I don't know what the pricing and all that's going to be in the future for it. Hopefully, they keep it pretty cheap for individuals. We'll see. Hopefully, they keep it free, but I don't think that's. I don't think they're going to be doing that. I'm not sure, but Copilot's awesome. Check it out. It's in a closed beta or closed testing, but you can apply for it. And it seems like everybody's getting it. Or at least that's what it seems like. But yeah, I mean, check that out. See if you can get access to it. But hopefully this was insightful. Hopefully you learned some Python and Dynamo stuff as well with this. And definitely check below. You can download all this stuff for free. Just like every video, you can just skip hearing me and then just download the content if you want. And then go ahead and use it however way you want. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching. Definitely check out the Discord link. That link is below and also in the banner. I always forget to mention that, but check that out. But yeah, anyways, thanks a lot, guys, for watching. I know this one is kind of all over the place, but I think it's still useful. Just kind of do a live, live session type thing. So, cool. Yeah, see you guys in the next video.